Now, I remember sitting there thinking, wouldn't it be good if I started my own podcast, but who would want to join though?
Hey, Jack, want to start a podcast? But who would we get to join us?
You guys say something about starting a podcast? Hey, Taylor.
What, Jimmy?
Did you hear about the 5-legged alien who got dressed up for Canto Bight?
No, what?
His pants fit like a glove.
Brilliant.
That was horrible.
Hello, explorers, and welcome to episode 100. And they said we wouldn't get to 7 episodes.
One of us that's
So be it, Jedi.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
Always a pleasure to meet you.
And my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
You failed your Highness. I'm a Jedi.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 100. And welcome if you're new, and thank you again if you're back for more Star Wars chat with your hosts, where we're going to sit and look back and celebrate with us reaching this huge milestone of 100 episodes.
All right. Well, obviously, it's not just the 3 of us anymore. We're missing 2 more people.
Yeah. Due to me being so busy at work, I actually moved to the zoo, so I'm always at work and like family commitments and stuff. I had to take a step back from the podcast. And in my absence, these 2 nerf herders needed someone to keep them in check. And obviously, that person needed to have the Force and be strong in the Force, right?
Did someone say something about keeping 2 old guys in check?
Oh, and we got Charlie coming in. Finally, we needed one more member who could really deliver the chat, if you will. And so I reached back to my childhood best friend, and we got the mailman.
Hey, guys.
Boom, team complete. Now let's get this show on the road, as we've got loads to cover. Let's get straight into this week's Force Encounters.
For my ally is the Force.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and dive into the Force Encounters this week. This has been the most Star Wars-y Star Wars week, but I haven't watched a single Star Wars thing. I have been planning, I've been researching, I have been deep diving, going down into rabbit holes, getting everything ready for Friday at 11:30, Hall 7, the HoloNet news stage. I am on Star Wars overload. Good thing I'm not going anywhere where I can't get away from Star Wars for a while. So, what about you, Mike?
Well, out here on the outer rim, the Force doesn't get to us very often. I'm just toiling away like a moisture farmer on Tatooine. But I got about halfway through the book Dark Disciple. So that's the closest thing I've been to, a Force encounter. But yeah, good book. I'm really enjoying it. How about you, Taylor?
Mine's also about a book. So I started reading The High Republic Into the Lights. This is just the cover, because the other half is obviously in my living room somewhere. It came out April 1st, and it's by Claudia Gray, one of my favorite authors. So I won't get into what happens, but man, that first chapter is like, bam, you're right in the mix of it. This Jedi, that Jedi, woo! I'm really excited. But what about you, Jack?
Yes, I've been super busy as well with the Star Wars goodness, getting stuff ready for our panel this Friday, 11:30 on the HoloNet news stage. And I've also got our 20th anniversary Revenge of the Sith posters, with one of them being for the giveaway. So listeners and viewers, make sure you're watching the socials to find out how you could be in the chance of winning one of those. What about you, Charlie?
Well, my Force Encounters this week was getting up close and personal with the entire back catalogue of the Explore the Force episodes. I had the absolute pleasure this week of editing together this super lovely montage of all of the incredible guests that you guys have had on. I've only been here for maybe like 25% of the time, but what you've managed to achieve in a year is absolutely outstanding. And it was a pleasure to sit and piece all of that together, regardless of how much time it took and how many frustrated texts I sent to Jack. It's fine. It's fine. You can go and like watch that on our social media. It is my little pride and joy. So that was my Star Wars for the week. And now it's on to the news.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000.
For those who are among the 900 with news media or promotional tickets, the sneak preview probably will be the only chance to see the Empire Strikes Back.
Guys. There was an Andor event in London. Everybody was gorgeous. Everybody was dressed up to the nines. Everyone looked fantastic. Tony Gilroy gets on the carpet and he's doing a bit of yapping. He's talking and he's talking. And he's kind of dropped the announcement that we might be getting a Star Wars horror film. Eamon Jacobs got this scoop on behalf of Business Insider. Nice little bit of journalism there, Eamon. Very impressive. What do we think? What could this possibly mean? Discuss.
No, I was just going to say, I think it means Tony Gilroy was listening to our episode of our episode with me and Jack. We did going through all the genres. I think he was popped in on Mailman and the Jedi and the Mailman, and got the idea and popped it out there. So yeah, we talked about Star Wars going horror, didn't we? Yeah,
he's on to us.
Mm-hmm. Finally,
we're getting our break. What do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah, I think this has a lot of potential. This is something people have been screaming about, wanting this, and we have all the things. I think we even did an episode on like scary. I think we did a Halloween episode in our first year of scary things in Star Wars, and if we could do that. And then of course he recently had an interview for Andor, and he said that he thinks Star Wars should try other genres, kind of like what Marvel did with some of their TV shows on Disney Plus. So maybe he already knew what was happening. Maybe he's involved. Pretty exciting. But Taylor, are you okay to be scared while you're watching your Star Wars?
Yeah, I think they've already started to kind of touch into that with Andor. It was so serious, right? And you actually fear the Empire in this TV show, whereas in everything else, the stormtroopers are just a bunch of goofs that can't hit anything, and they're goofy with Grogu and stuff like that, right? So Andor's already got their foot wet in there starting with the horror, and we did see some scary Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, so I think they can do it. And I mean, if it's Star Wars, I'm there.
Nice. Charlie, are you a Scream Queen?
I absolutely am. I am a diehard horror fan through and through. There were definitely elements of Ahsoka that really touched on that horror, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I want to feel unsettled. I want to feel scared. Let's go. I'd be really interested to see how far they'll take it, because obviously, obviously this is Marvel sacrilege. I know, sacrilege, but Daredevil Born Again is R-rated. It's extreme. It's excessive. It's violent. It's brilliant. I want to see that from Star Wars, and I think horror's a really good genre point to do that. So yeah, very, very exciting. Thank you, Mr. Tony Gilroy.
Nice. I'm surprised he slipped up on that one, or maybe that's the next big thing. But anyways, more exciting news. The second piece of DLC from Ubisoft Massive Entertainment Star Wars Outlaws has been in the pipeline for a few months. We knew it was coming. We just didn't know when. While a release date has not been set yet, the game's social media account has confirmed that a special preview of the new adventure will be part of Star Wars Celebration next week. If only we had people there. In Japan, we do know the DLC is titled A Pirate's Fortune, and we know that it will feature Hondo Ohnaka. We also know that Jim Cummings teases the return for Hondo Ohnaka when speaking about his part with facial recognition for the character. It is the game. Is it for this game or other projects? So basically, we're getting a Hondo story in the DLC, so we're going to have to jump back in that this summer. Obviously, no time to play that right now. But they're also wondering, did he let slip possibly that there's more Hondo coming someplace else? People have rumored that maybe it was in Mando and Grogu. Maybe it's coming in something else. Jack, do you think that we're going to get Hondo Ohnaka live action, or is this just for some DLC?
No, I think this is another mistake. I think it's a slip of the tongue again. Potentially Ahsoka Season 2. That's what I'm going to aim for, because I think the Mandalorian Grogu stuff's done and completed. So Ahsoka Season 2, I think, is quite likely for me. What do you think, Charlie?
This is the thing. I don't really have an opinion. I haven't actually played much of Outlaws, and what I have played, controversially, I didn't particularly enjoy, but I am willing to give it another go with the hype of some new DLC and just to see that kind of that universe expand a little bit more. So I'm willing to give it another go. Mike, how do you feel about it?
Well, I'd say if Hondo's coming out in the DLC, then that had to have been done a while ago. And what we've been hearing lately about Hondo popping up in something else would be pointing to something in the future. So I think Jack's probably right. I would think that Ahsoka season 2 is probably the most logical place he's going to pop up, and that could be really interesting. What do you think, Taylor?
Well, didn't we see Hondo's ship in Skeleton Crew recently? So a little bit
Sure
of
did.
foreshadowing, like they like to do to us. So I don't see why we wouldn't be getting him. We could even, I'm thinking like space battles and stuff. Don't we have like a couple new shows coming up with the New Republic Disney Plus series? I think we have something like that coming up. I'm a little bit out of the loop, I guess, but that would fit in perfectly with the pirates and stuff. I don't know. I think we'll get him in live action.
So moving on to for this is specifically for my listeners who are in the UK, the original 1977 cinematic release of Star Wars will be shown on the big screen this summer in London, marking its first public screening in decades. This is the original unchanged version, and it will be shown as part of the British Film Institute, or the BFI's Film on Film Festival that starts on the 12th of June. The BFI has said that this version of the film is rarely publicly screened since George Lucas's produced special editions were released in the 1990s, which altered plot points and added more CGI characters. Today, only the updated versions are available on official streaming platforms and Blu-ray, making the screenings of the original film's cut really rare. The BFI Film on Film Festival will take place at the South Bank in London and BFI IMAX from the 12th to the 15th of June. So I would highly recommend, if you have not had the chance to see the original cut of, I've been very lucky to be able to see it. I acquired a copy from somewhere, and was very grateful to be able to watch it. It was extremely, extremely good. Really different to what kind of like maybe mine and Taylor's generation and Jack's, like the younger generations, would know of the original trilogy. So if you have a chance, I would highly, highly recommend and go.
Mike, he's called us old.
Yeah, well, we're used to it.
Or even
honestly, I think I still have on VHS somewhere probably a copy of the original. And I don't know, it's been popping up all the time. They're saying like somewhere on Roku you can watch the original version. I haven't sought it out, but
TV.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be cool. I can't even remember what's been added and what hasn't been added, because like the first time Mike and I were seen on the big screen, I mean, we went together for the re-releases, I think, for Star Wars. If I'm not mistaken, we went and watched them together. So that'd be cool. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see the original, kind of get that feel for 1977. Be kind of fun. Mike and I were a whopping 1 year old, so back off, folks. All right, back off. Jack, what about you? You won't even be in London in June.
No, I should still be here. If I can get down to London, depends how busy I'm getting with the house move and everything. I think I might take Charlie down for a day for all the hard work on the awesome reel that she's put together for us. So make sure you're free,
a little ETF trip out. Let's go.
Taylor, have you seen the original? Like, do you have like VHS copy, like your parents or anybody? Have you ever seen it without the remastered? Yeah.
I want to say that I have, because I think my husband's mother, my mother-in-law had the super old one. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know when that one was released, but the box is VHS. The box is super old, and she's had it forever. So it could have been, but I would like to see it again to be able to compare it.
Nice. All right.
So moving on. This has been a bunch of new Star Wars books revealed to be released over on StarWars.com, such as Star Wars Master of Evil, and it's the new Darth Vader novel. I don't know if you guys haven't checked out the imagery on online yet. They released the cover for that book. It looks awesome. And just reading about it, it seems like it's going to be a real interesting story. And then I guess there's a couple other books coming out. Check that out on StarWars.com, if you're interested.
Yeah. What is his name? Adam Christopher, the author. There's a guy that wrote Shadow of the Sith. Taylor, you flew through that book, right? Shadow of the Sith?
Yeah, I remember. I went through that one. It made me really like the prequels a lot better.
Yeah. See, I don't know what it is. I really like the story, but I'm like halfway through it for like 2 years now. So I will get this though. This looks good. This looks scary. Maybe this is the beginning of that scary stuff that Tony Gilroy is talking about. Because I think what's the synopsis is Vader's haunting pursuit for power to conquer death. So this looks like it might cover, a pretty wide span of his life. So I'm thinking it's going to be like Anakin all the way through him getting crispy crittered on the at the end of Return of the Jedi. So
nice.
Yeah, Jack, will you read this?
Yeah, definitely. I think you might be onto something there. Maybe as well it could be the lead up to him actually wanting to betray the Emperor when he finds out it's all been lies.
Like what's going on in his head.
That'd be interesting.
Honestly, I need to read more Star Wars books. I am so unbelievably behind. You guys are giving me such a fantastic list of recommendations that I need to sit down and I need to start. So maybe I need to start with something a little more genre aligned for me with Master of Evil. The cover looks absolutely beautiful. Like Mike said, go and look at it because really inspired by the concept drawings of Ralph McQuarrie for Darth Vader's helmet, which is a nice twist. I love references to the original source material for Star Wars. That makes me so happy. And right, I am Taylor. I'm sure you'll be with me on this one. I am a huge purveyor of thick coffee table books about Star Wars. I want references, I want costumes, I want characters, I want encyclopedias. Give me all of it. Now,
yes.
In December, a very exciting set of books is being released called the Doug Chiang, The Cinematic Legacy and the Star Wars Legacy. This is a 2-volume, 800-page deluxe slipcased hardback collection that celebrates Doug Chiang, Lucasfilm's senior VP and executive designer, and it's absolutely breathtaking. The cover art is one of like Anakin Speed Racers, absolutely beautiful. Doug Chiang is such an integral part of the visual language for Star Wars, and this special collection looks absolutely breathtaking. I love reference material like that, and I cannot wait to add this to my collection.
Yeah, he's doing a panel, I think.
No way.
So that would be sweet.
Yes, he is.
Stop.
Yep.
I got to listen to him speak at Anaheim. It was one of the highlights there. That guy's passion and love for Star Wars is next to nobody's. I mean, it's like listening to Dave Filoni talk.
Yeah.
And I think too, we're kind of coming to that point now where, we always things come back to Ralph McQuarrie. Always do. But there's going to be a point where it's going to be Doug Chiang's turn. And I think that's kind of coming around now. I mean, granted, he's still busy and he's still active, and like a lot of artists, not until he retires will he be appreciated as much as he is. But I think Star Wars fans appreciate him. They love his love for the franchise. But I think he's right up there. You want to talk about visual Mount Rushmore for Star Wars? It would be him and Ralph and one or two others. So I'm excited for that. That makes me even more excited to go to the panel if we can fit it in. So, what about you, Taylor? Is this something you would get? I know you probably read more than anybody on here. So do you dive into these books too?
Yeah, I have. I really love the art of books, and because I use them, I like to sketch and stuff too. So I'll draw my own things out of seeing these cool, like behind the scenes photos and like the original stuff. And I use the art of books to help me with my cosplays because you can get like right in there little details. And I think I have 2 under my coffee table, like the underside right now. And I have had those books in the bathroom. Then I end up spending too much time in there. So yes, I do have a couple. I'll try to keep them out of the bathroom.
We've all been there.
Mike, what do you read in the bathroom?
Everything I read is on my phone now. I used to have hundreds of books, and then when we moved, they were all just stored away in my attic, and I sold almost everything that I had, and what I couldn't sell, I donated. So I only have now I have like one shelf of books, stuff that I really wanted to keep, but mostly I just read on my phone anymore. So
we're gonna have to start a
this isn't
GoFundMe.
something I'll be going out and getting.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe for Mike's Christmas present, and it'll be this giant book.
Mike, I have packed for my move. We have 17 boxes of books now, and that's not every book in house emptied. Books are full, but you should have books. They're good. They're so
I love
good.
I read all the time, but I have a huge library on my Kindle now. It's all on the Kindle app.
Ah, you're a
So
Kindle
it's
fan.
all
That's fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
That way, it's wherever I am. If I want to read, it's with me. So
nice.
Valid.
So I guess we're moving on here. This is taken straight from a Disney official email. So we have a surprise for you. Thank you for attending our Season of the Force kickoff. Now prepare for the ultimate Star Wars extravaganza at Disney After Dark, Star Wars Night, an after-hours party packed with galactic fun on select nights from April 8th through May 6th, 2025. Everyone's favorite night is back. Grab your cosplay, grab your lightsabers, and experience one of the most unique nights in Disneyland. Luke Skywalker will be there, along with Padme and Anakin. I'm not a Disney Parks guy. I don't enjoy standing in lines and things like that, so I'm not a big parks guy, but this does seem like a pretty interesting, fun night out. What do you guys think?
I got to do one at Anaheim, and it was phenomenal because they kick everybody out of the park. So like you go from like 60,000 people to like 5,000 people. I mean, you don't get bumped, you don't get hit, and then everyone there loves Star Wars. And that place stayed open until like 2:00 in the morning. I think I made my lightsaber at like 1:30 in the morning in California. Getting on the rides and things like that. So if you are close to one of the parks and you have the opportunity to do this, the tickets were not cheap. I believe that we paid like $125 for the ticket, but you got 5 hours of minimum people there, and it was awesome because people were they had to trudge out, like they were kicking people out, like, all right, you don't have that wristband, get out, and there's just a steady flow of people. And I can't recommend it enough. If you have the opportunity, you should go do it. So go for it if you're there. I don't know, the rest of you guys are really that close to a park. They don't have anything down in Paris, right? Is that?
No, not yet.
No,
it's planned, but not yet.
Nah.
That's crazy to me that they don't have one in Europe.
Awesome. Right, let's get into then this week's main show. Okay, so we are starting this week's main show by just going over loads of episodes and moments that we've really enjoyed and our favourite bits from, again, the past 99 episodes. We've had an absolute ton of feedback from all the listeners and the viewers from all the different social platforms that we've got on the go. Again, we've had so many people, again, messaging us, and we just really, really appreciate all of you getting in touch with us, letting know your favourite episodes at the moment. There's literally that many. I could be here all night telling everybody, but again, thank you so much.
I have, yeah. Goodness me, our social media was slightly inundated by wonderful, wonderful people sharing their love. We had a fan favourite of the show, Clan Brandalorian, said that he can't wait for this episode. And when asked what his favourite moment was, he very kindly said, every episode with that dude, Clan Brandalorian. Lol. No, I would say every time you guys cover reactions for the new shows, which is something I super, super love. Like we're quick on that. We are good to go. Jessica McNair, who is a friend of the show and a big friend of mine, said congrats to you all. We really, really appreciate that. Star Wars Marshall also said congrats. Overton Pin said that episode where you had that really cool lady on talking about Rebels. Don't know if anybody remembers. Excuse me. And we also had a friend of the show who appeared on the quiz last week, Simon London, popped in our Facebook and said that his favourite thing about the show was just listening to three amazing Star Wars fans.
Yes, and that's been the general consensus across the whole of the social media inboxes, messages that we've been getting. Super appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Again, for those that are just joining us, stay aboard, enjoy the shows that come. There's loads of content to come. What we're going to go diving into now is our favourite moments. Again, just one or two favourite moments from all of us, just to get us started. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows what my top moment is going to be. It is going to be the confirmation from herself, KB, that I do look like Jude Law, which was then later confirmed by Wim on social media, and I will be getting it confirmed again in the next 7 or 8 days whilst we're in Japan, because that'll be the first thing I'll be asking KB when I see her at the VCN event. So yeah, first one straight away was that confirmation for me. And sort of staying with the Skeleton Crew theme as well, was getting to meet all the cast, all the actors and that as well down in London, and being humbled as well, because I wasn't a fan of the Skeleton Crew, as everyone pretty much knows, and it just turned me around, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being wrong. I enjoyed absolutely spitballing the theories out, and yeah, I absolutely loved it. But yeah, number one for me was a confirmation of the Jude Law lookalike. Mike, I'm going to be coming to you in a minute. What have you got for us, bud? What's some of your favourite moments?
Well, my favorite moment would be right after we recorded episode 85. That was the mid-season review of Skeleton Crew, where the four of us, Jimmy, Jack, and Charlie, got on. We'd been discussing, adding me to the group and whatnot, and then we did this podcast. And we don't rehearse this. There's not a lot of takes or anything. It's scripted or whatnot. But we got on that episode, and just it went smooth as butter, man. Like it just flowed, and we finished, and we're all like, "Wow, that was great." And then listening back to it, we realized that it was awesome. We had something really going. So that was like, I'd been on a couple different episodes before that, but that episode, just when it was over, realizing how great this was, that's my top moment.
Nice.
How about you, Jimmy?
Well, I will say I think as we get older, Mike, we get softer and we get more emotional. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a reputation here as a coach and a teacher of being pretty harsh, but I have to say, like right now, having all 5 of us here and what we've created as a group, like the fact that we're all here, because I mean, it's nuts, the story behind it. I had actually reached out to Taylor before Celebration. She's like, who the hell is this guy? Why is he talking to me?
Yeah, I said no. I pretty much said no.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm good. So I liked Taylor's takes on, we're all part of, big shout out to Star Wars Sessions guys. I mean, they set the bar really high for us, and we were all big fans and still are of them. And, we chatted, and I was like, I always like Taylor's takes on things. I was like, I wanted to do more, but to have us all back here, 100 episodes in, and that's only main show episodes. We have probably another 100 or so of book reviews, breakdowns. We've got the TV shows. We have our live episodes. Mike and I have done tons of those already. So I would have to say this moment here, having us all, what we've created as a group, it's really, really special. And I can't wait to see what the future holds. It's funny, people saying that we wouldn't make it to 7, and here we are. And it hasn't been, the perfect roadmap or anything, but we're figuring it out, and we're figuring each other out. So I really love that. I can't wait for more. And I'll kind of go back to episode 56, and we did Barriss Offee's journey, and I hated Barriss Offee. I was so angry with her. Because of what she did to Ahsoka and how she sold her out. And every time I'd watch an episode with her after that, I was like, ah. And then we got I think we did this after Tales of the Empire came out. And the realization of how, kind of like Jack's journey with the Skeleton Crew, right? At one point, Jack's like, yeah, we're not even going to get this show. I mean, Taylor and I would just laugh at him like, yeah, we're getting this show. And, I just am blown away by how they changed the narrative on this. And it's like, kind of like just the realization as we're recording, like, man, this is nuts. Like storytelling and all that stuff like that. I really love that. And then how nervous we were to interview Kiriana Crater. I don't know what it was, but we flew through that interview because all 3 of us were like, we were also like wired. And we've had Taylor and I and Jack, we had Brendan Wayne on. We've had lots of big people on the show. But man, for some reason that little girl made us all so nervous. it was pretty funny. And that was like one of the best interviews we did, and that mostly because of her, because she was so awesome. But those are kind of my highlights of the show, and there's so many. I mean, there's so many things that we've gotten to do, with the John Williams stuff. Well, I guess we'll get into that. But Taylor, what about you? What are some of your highlights?
One of my favorite, I guess, guests coming on kind of deal. I remember when Brendan Wayne told us that they wanted him to get into the N1 Starfighter, and he didn't fit, and he had all these bruises, and he said, every time you see a shot of me getting in and out, it's extremely painful. Just know that I'm making gritty faces under my helmet. And that, I remember we were laughing so hard at that, and it was so cool because it's just a story that you hear straight from like the set, right? It's not, I heard this through 3 things, but my absolute favorite moment was when we had Mark Thompson on, and he did the Stellan Geos voice, and he said Taylor, and I was just losing it. I lost it. It was so great. Remember, I was freaking out. Oh, so good.
He was amazing. He could just go in and out of those voices like it was nothing. So
yeah. Oh, so good. What about has Jack gone? No, Charlie. What about you?
Me, little old me. I don't know. Is it cheesy to say that like my favorite moment was being asked to join for Taylor? I don't know if you're aware, but I was at a Comic-Con minding my own business, doing my own thing, watching people learn how to fight with lightsabers, and somebody comes up to me and taps me on the shoulder and says, "Hello." And so begins almost immediately the conversation of, I do a Star Wars podcast. It's called Explore the Force. And I stumped him by saying, yeah, I've heard of Explore the Force. I know about you guys. Like I'd listened to a few episodes. I like to keep my ear to the ground about sort of what's popular and what's interesting in the Star Wars podcast scene. And immediately Jack was like, do you want to join? And I went, you're right then. And here I am now, like 25 something plus episodes later. And I love the way life does that sometimes. It will just appear and go, here you go. Here's the thing that you really enjoy and makes you really happy and you have a lot of fun doing. And now I have a whole new group of friends, a group of people that I love and care about so dearly. And I get to celebrate one of my biggest passions. And also, meeting Kiriana, I didn't realize a child could make me feel so nervous. I am 30. I was trembling. I was petrified. She's wonderful. She's angelic. She's an absolute treasure and a delight. I couldn't hold it together.
Yeah,
It's having those moments of contact. Like if you go back and watch the interview we did with Dawn, you guys have all met her before. I hadn't. There is like 10 minutes where I'm saying nothing. My eyes are like saucers and I am completely silent because I don't know what to say. I can't bring myself to even say hello to the woman, let alone be like, so nice to meet you. It's surreal. It's very, very surreal. I've had a wonderful time, genuinely. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we've had a lot of great episodes and moments. So we're going to flip the script now. I think we're just going to keep talking moments and just keep switching it around till we've run out. I think that's the best thing we're going to do in this episode. Because I just keep thinking of more and more. And Charlie was right. It completely stumped me when she was like, yeah, I've heard of you guys. And I think that was a point for me. And I was like, people do actually listen to our podcast. Like,
yes.
Crazy.
Believe it or not, yes.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Another standout moment in an episode for me. And I listened back to it the other day because obviously, again, Charlie's done an amazing job on the reel of all the guests and that we've had on. And I went back and I watched episode 0 where we're doing our introduction, how we were. And I was like,
it's
so
bad.
Yeah.
No.
Even I got emotional and I was just like, how bad are we? But no, it was actually not too bad, to be fair. I mean, we didn't really have a script or anything. You know, Jimmy pretty much carried us through the entire episode. You know, I was at...
Oh, God.
It was absolutely, like, golden. And I love it because it's like, I look at that and then I'm like, we're here now. And really not a great lot's changed between us at all. Like, we've all just got busier and there's things going on with life. The team's expanded. But we're still just the same. And it's just like... Yeah, it's insane. And obviously myself and Jimmy, we're off to Japan. And we're going to be meeting other people because we've got all these great like celebrity guests, if you like. But we have met some awesome content creators as well through Star Wars. You know, you've got Tony from Sith Talks. who I'd met before. We'd done the podcast anyway. That was a fleeting visit in London. Brandalorian, I get on with him like a best friend as well. And I don't think he's going to Japan, but again, I'll probably see him at Rebel ScumCon. General Kenobi, going to see him out in Japan. Spencer out in Japan. There's absolutely loads going out to Japan. And again, Rebel ScumCon, I'm hopefully coming to that. See a lot of the guys and girls there. And it's just insane how my whole world has just opened up from like, my close group of friends back home to now it's literally worldwide, friend group. And I know if I wanted to travel to Kansas and stop over, I'd just give Mike a message, go stop with him, or go stop with Jimmy. If I want to go down somewhere in England, I've got Charlie that will go with me, or Canada. I move to Canada and go fly over to Taylor, take the family, go to see the zoo and meet Taylor. Like it's just insane.
Heck yeah.
It is just insane. Charlie, I'm going to come straight back to you. Got any more standout moments you can think of?
Oh my goodness, why did you put me on the spot like this? I wasn't done thinking. No. I do have to agree with Mike that mid-season recap for Skeleton Crew, like I think I remember the first few episodes I did, or even just the first episode I did with you guys, I was so nervous. I hadn't podcasted in about 6 months or so. I was really rusty. I was still like kind of wary about sort of where my energy would fit in and how I'd fit in with you guys. And I think that mid-season recap was the first time in a long time I've been on the broadcasting mic and it's just felt easy. Like it usually does. It usually feels like easy as breathing. And that particular episode, it was just back and forth and back. It was perfect. All of the points bounced off each other. And I think it's a testament to all of us being the kinds of Star Wars fans that we are, that we preach so much positivity, even in the face of I didn't like this or I didn't enjoy this. It's a healthy, structured discussion. It's none of this toxicity. It's none of this blaming and all of this horrible rhetoric you get with the fandom. And that's something I really, really value in this space, is how unbelievably positive you all are. It makes me feel safe in a space where, like, I'm a Rey cosplayer. I'm used to getting harassed. I get it on the regular for simply dressing up as Rey. It's great. I've had none of that with this podcast. And even when there is like touches of that, it's either dealt with, discussed, or ignored completely. Yeah. 10 out of 10. You're all stars. You're all absolute stars. And it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here. Thank you. Taylor, I need to hear some more of these funny stories, please. I need to hear some more of these moments, because this is great. I'm really enjoying myself.
When we first started, I just remember being like, we have nothing in common. Like, none of us have anything in common besides Star Wars. And that just brought us together. And how many hours did, like, even before I left, how many hours did we just talk about Star Wars? And we would stop recording and we'd continue talking about Star Wars for probably, me and Jack would stay on for like another half an hour at least every time and talk about Star Wars. And I remember the first like 15 episodes, we'd always have to stop and re-record like 6 times because we would all get so nervous. But we loved it. It was so fun. It was like an adrenaline rush every Sunday because we record on Sundays, right? But it was so good. And remember when all 3 of us went on that Star Wars trivia show and all 3 of us won like 3 for 3? What was that? Seriously Star Wars with Chris? Yeah, we're still unbeat. We gotta get you 2 on there now if he still does it.
I'll go. I'll do it. I'll do it for the team.
Nice.
Yeah.
What
about another moment? Life.
Yeah. Charlie made that clip. Charlie, I can't even imagine how long that took, because I mean, I know what it's like, and good Lord. So thank you for that. And I just saw that first episode and I was like, oh my gosh, how did we make it past 7? Honestly, like I was so nervous. I had this check sheet in front of me. I wanted to make sure we all talked, and, we talked about this subject, and I would check Taylor off, and and it was real robotic and nervous. And it's kind of funny how, and eventually as we do, we pick up on each other's weaknesses and strengths. And, fortunately for the show, Jack took over the opening, because I don't know what it is about that. I still hate doing it. Mike does the Mailman and the Jedi, because you get me going, I won't shut up. But man, I hate doing the intro to the show. So it's kind of funny to me, like how that just kind of, I'm sure Taylor and Jack are like, Jimmy's got to stop doing the opening because that is so bad. I'm like, hi guys, I'm Jimmy from Kansas. We are a Star Wars podcast, and I was all nervous trying to mess it all up. So I just like how like organic things, happened. And and another thing too is like Jack said about the family and the friends, like we're going to Japan, we're going to meet all these people from America, but we're all going over there because kind of like you said, Taylor, like I have no idea what I have in common with half the people we're going to go over there and meet, but like that love of Star Wars is awesome. I love that. And then Jack and I did John Williams when they did the was it Music by John Williams episode, and we got to meet oh my gosh.
Yes, Brad.
Brad, sorry. And then of course we talked also, we had Mark come on the show. We talked music too as well. And Mark Rolfe, and he's done some beautiful, like all of our music now is Mark's, and he's come on and he's just done these things, and he played some music for us. And I don't know how well it came through on the recording or not, but like for Jack and I, like he was just showing us these little tidbits, like these little things here and there. And we're trying to get it set up so he can come back on and do it for us again. But we learned so much. And as a person who never listen to like soundtracks or orchestral music, this year my number one song was the theme song from Ahsoka, like the end credits song. So like just that change in this, like getting my world opened up to something more. I've always liked the Star Wars music, but I just never sat down and listened to it and stuff like that. So just the growth from learning and listening to you guys, Charlie and Sid, it wasn't Charlie and Sid, it was Charlie and Jessica, who I think on the live show talked us down from the Anakin Skywalker stuff in the Attack of the Clones, right?
That was Jessica and Sid. That one, I knew
that was a combination. Okay, yeah. So Jessica and Sid, and they brought, like, for Mike and I, they still don't land, but like we have a whole different perspective of, was it The Last Jedi on that one, and then, and then Charlie, you did something with us, and you kind of gave us a perspective of like, well, Anakin's an awkward teenage boy. Of course, his dialogue is going to suck, like, and so just, those movies still, like my two bottom movies, Attack of the Clones, The Last Jedi, but getting that perspective and seeing it where somebody else sees it, I love that about our show, and then we have people that email us and talk to us on our comments, and they give us their perspectives, and most of them have been awesome. No one's yelled at us. I mean, we've had like one for some reason when me, Mike, and Brando are on the show together, people scream at us and call us mean names, but that's we're 2 for 2 with that one. But yeah, so just getting to see different perspectives and learning from that, I really like that. I love it, actually, because I mean, it's just, that's what Star Wars fans need to do. They need to open up and listen to other people. So
some awesome points again. Some more standout moments, and sort of going to what you were saying, Jimmy, like the way we adapt, and we've changed our podcast as well. And again, it's not just our ideas. We've made this podcast for people that listen to it, and we listen to people what they want us to do. We'll implement, we'll make the changes. We went through a phase of where we were welcoming people onto our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, all those social media platforms, YouTube, wherever we are. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, plug. And we were saying all those names, but then imagine doing it now. Like we grow. I think we grew 1,000 in a week. Like it was just absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
More standout moments for me. Quite serious time now is obviously the last 3 years. I've lost my mum. I've lost my dad, and it's been super, super emotional. Like, we've all been through a rough patch at some point while we've done this podcast. Friggin' Jimmy, I think's only missed one Sunday episode, I think, or none at all.
I missed the news. I did the main show.
Like, Jimmy just went strong.
Yeah, so I'm at 100. I'm taking a break after this.
Like, Taylor was going absolutely crazy because we had a big move going on. I was doing an episode in the middle of a hurricane in Belize. Like, we have done some absolutely
that's a favourite moment.
Insane stuff. And like I said, we've had
That's such a
really,
good
really like tough testing times, and we've always come back to the podcast. You know, Star Wars does get us through those dark times. And I'm not going to go into Jimmy's. I'm sure it'll be Jimmy's point or Mike if his dogs have stopped. You know, we've all helped each
They've
other.
stopped.
And I'll let you guys talk about the person that we helped as well. I'm sure that'll be one of your standout moments. So ages ago, I remember this. We had an inbox message. So there was one of the listeners was going through a rough time. Remember this?
Oh, yeah. Just kind of messaged with them back and forth
That
a
was
little
it.
bit. Yeah. So, and he's doing great. I'm not gonna say any names or anything like that, but we chat every once in a while. He's one of our listeners, and I just talked to him about personal experiences. I'd been where he had been, and I was just like, "Listen, buddy, like just fall into Star Wars, do that. Things come out on the other side." And from the photos I see on Facebook, things look like they've turned around, and the Force is with him. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, you're right though. We got to meet a lot of people, and talk to a lot of people, and that was nice to be able to be there and be there for that guy.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
Like I said, there's just so many standout moments. One from the books again. It was again in Belize. Someone absolutely loved the moment that I was talking about that lizard on the window, where I just completely went off track and I was throwing that little lizard at the window.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had so many great moments. More from me. I could go on this all day. Is literally having the guests on like Alan Austin. He was incredible. Details. Oh my gosh, humbled. Yeah, and I'm playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 quite regular with him as well. It's like, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. Ross Sandbridge as well. Awesome guest that we've had on. I know Taylor talked about Mark Thompson. We've had him on again on the show. Cavan Scott. Lydia Kang. Unbelievably talented. Like this. So many. Who wants to go next? I could keep going on and on and on.
Mike, let Mike go while the dogs are quiet.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, my favorite episode. I go back to episode 1. Now, episode 1 was absolutely terrible. Like you guys are not, you guys know that. But here's the thing. So it's May the 4th. Either I texted Jimmy or Jimmy texted me, happy May the 4th, whatever. Then Jimmy tells me, hey, check this out. You might recognize a voice on here. So I check it out and I'm like, oh my God, Jimmy started a podcast. And at the point I'm like, I don't want to start listening to a Star Wars podcast, but I'm like, he's my buddy. I'll give it a listen and, give him some feedback and whatever. So I listened to episode 1. And like I said, not good. Nobody's first podcast is ever good. But the thing that struck me though, is listening to Taylor and Jack give all this love for like the prequel trilogy, which men of my age, Jimmy and I, the prequels aren't great. Like they're pretty terrible. For a long time, people our age just hated them. And it's not that I hate them, but I didn't have a connection with them like I did the OG trilogy. But listening to you guys talk about it, it opened up, and we've talked about this a little bit today. It just opened up a whole new world for us, let you see it in a different light. And from then on, from episode 1 on, I'm getting on every time to, listen to my buddy's podcast and give him feedback. But at the same time, I'm getting hooked on Star Wars. I mean, it's no secret. I wasn't deep into Star Wars when this whole thing started, but as it went on and you guys would just talk so glowingly about everything, I dove in and watched everything and read everything and, just started the Star Wars journey. And it's all from that first episode, that terrible episode you guys did that led to 99 more. But seriously, I mean, it's that I can't say enough about that. It hooked me, and nobody expects the first one to be great, but it was good enough to hook me and get me on this journey. And it's been fantastic. I mean, Jimmy and I are now doing a live podcast every Tuesday night. And, I'm coming on here and doing this with you guys and I'm giving you feedback and trying to, play my little part and help this thing grow. And it's been great. It's really been great. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love that picture. Actually, my favorite photograph.
Yeah, that idea just came to me. I had my daughter take the picture, and it turned out
Look
way
at
better than I
Japan.
expected.
Pretty awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Go on, Jimmy.
Taylor, one of mine, Taylor and I broke down the Mortis arc together. We did 3 episodes on 3 23-minute animated episodes of the Mortis arc. We were inspired by, and that's what I loved about this show too, because we just kind of got like, I think we got inspired by Ahsoka, and Taylor and I, like, let's do this. And Jack, you were, I believe you were deployed or somewhere training somewhere in the world, and it was one of the times you were gone, and Taylor and I and that was just an awesome ride. And Taylor and I had, like, we'd have these big sets of notes, and we just kind of going through it. I thought, man, we're not going to be able, because I think originally, Taylor, we decided we were going to try to do it all in one shot, and then it's like, we have so many notes, let's just see where we get. And then we got 1 hour of just talking about the first episode, and that was a lot of fun. It was just kind of cool to see how much we both were able to pull out of that episodes. It was a real joy to do that. I loved it. And then just the, you and I being on such a same page with that, and then we also picked out different things, and it was kind of cool. That I probably watched those episodes 3 or 4 times when we were doing that, and you still miss things. And then Taylor would find something. I was like, "What? Where'd that happen?" I'd go back and look, So that was a lot of fun.
We had so many people reach out and say, like, "Oh, I've never even given that episode a second look, and now that you guys have, like, done this crazy deep dive into it and pulled out all this stuff that normal people don't have time to do," it got so many people back watching that arc again, and people were just like, "Yeah, like, this is actually so good," and we're like, "We know." It was so fun.
Taylor, you have anything else that you remember that you enjoyed?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I was just thinking I just got a big flashback. The first time I met Mike was the episode where his dog was losing it because there was, like, a cat or something out in the yard. And so that just brought back flashbacks. But also just like also remembering back to those first few episodes, like, Mike, we were terrible. Like, we were talking, well, I was really bad at talking over everybody. I think I've gotten a little better. But, like, how many people supported us in those first, like, 10 episodes, or the first 7, I should even say. Like, we weren't good, but people supported us, and it just felt good. And I remember starting the podcast and just saying, I just want to meet Star Wars people. I just want to meet more friends. We just want to meet people in the Star Wars community. And look at us now. You're right. We have friends all over the world. We've got like Matilda in Sweden, who any one of us could stay with her and her family. I exchanged socks with her. Like, I don't even know why. I sent her a pair of socks that didn't fit me. She sent me some t-shirts for Abby. Like, just so fun.
Amazing.
And just meeting other people around the world that also love Star Wars just as much as us. And it just feels good to have this time to chat with you guys, because we're all just as crazy about it, right? So it's needed. It was definitely needed. And I've missed this.
I remember when Taylor took out Ezra as well at the Comic-Con.
He took out his own crotch with my lightsaber. That's actually what happened.
Hey, Mike's got to bounce, so he's going to say his final words, and he's going to dip out.
Yeah, I got life is evolving around me, so I got to go join in. But I just want to say I love you all. This has been so much fun. Let's keep doing it. Let's get another 100 under our belt and go from there. You guys have a great rest of your show. I'll be listening to it when it drops on Tuesday.
Take care, Mike.
Y'all have a good night. We'll see you.
Man.
Love you.
See you, Mike.
Bye.
I think that's the first time Mike told me he loved me.
Oh my goodness.
49
Episode
years,
100.
49 years of
49 years
friendship, and that's what it took. Get him on the podcast.
Oh, brilliant. Charlie, have you got any more moments or episodes?
Everyone knows that listens to this podcast, my favorite Star Wars movie is Solo. And I love meeting details was I still get giddy. I've got the hat he's given me. I've got the picture he signed. I cannot wait to finally meet him in person someday. And I watched Solo with details, and a guy who was Quay Tulsite. He was the pike leader of Kessel, and then we had Ross Sandbridge on here telling us stories, and they were just telling us these fun stories and like their passion and their love for Star Wars and how much they loved,
Yeah.
just like the memories and how cool everybody was. And that's one thing too. Every time we talk to somebody that's been in Star Wars, they always mention how much fun it is, the family, how tight, how close they are to each other, but just how many people that love Star Wars and that there's the growing passion for Solo. Like I said, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But how many of them got to watch it with Quay Tulsite and a Wookiee? And it just and hearing all this stuff from behind the scenes and what are the actors like? What is this person like? How cool is this person? This is what we talked about, and on this day we were doing this shot. It's just. It is mind-blowing to me, the stuff that we've gotten to do as Star Wars fans. It's humbling. I didn't never think we'd get to do that, but that's probably, and I think that's up on YouTube. I think it's up on YouTube. I can't remember. Maybe I don't remember what we did with that. I'll double check, but that was amazing. I mean, and then taking Ross when we were at Rebel ScumCon and taking Ross, sorry. In my car, I had Supreme Leader Snoke in my car, right? Drove him to dinner, and I got to be a rock star because I brought Ross Sandbridge to dinner with all these, with Kenobi Connects, collects, and just in Tiara, and people that are just good friends of ours now. But it made me feel like the popular kid at school for the night, and is how loving and like, when I showed up at Rebel ScumCon. I'm like, hey, I'm here to see Ross. Like, oh, you're Jimmy, right? Like Ross was acting like I was a big deal, and it just, it blew me away. The weekend was so much fun, but yeah, just because of this podcast, the things we've gotten to do, and people we've gotten to meet, and even Brandon, Brandon up the road an hour or so from us, getting to have breakfast with him a couple times, and just I'd never know him, and he's an hour away from me, so just blows my mind. But yeah, I'm gonna have to stop there. I could go on for another 2 hours. So
go on, Charlie. Anything else?
Honestly, just what more can I say? The experience, the chance to be here, the opportunity is absolutely like mind-blowing to me. The things I've done already, the things we're planning to do, the things we're moving towards in the future. Like sometimes I have to pinch myself because it doesn't feel real. Like Kiriana Cratter follows me on Instagram. We're mutuals. That's what is happening. I've never in my life been this close to Star Wars. 9-year-old me clutching their copy of The Phantom Menace on VHS is screaming and hasn't stopped screaming since I joined this podcast. It's insane to me. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Like I love you all to absolute pieces. I really do. Just thank you, genuinely thank you. Somebody shut me up because I'm not going to stop.
Awesome. I think that. Yeah, go on,
final
Taylor.
thoughts, Taylor.
What else I have? God, I don't know. There's so many good moments, and even like so many good moments and interviews and stuff when like that I wasn't a part of. Like you guys have kept it up so amazing. Like, and how much you've grown is it's so crazy. This is exactly what we always kind of like joked about. Like, oh, imagine if we actually got this far. Like, and now it's actually happening, and it's so crazy. Like without the help of everybody listening to us and like giving us hints and stuff, like we wouldn't be here. But okay, one good moment when Alan Austin was saying that he had a crush on Carrie and he was like starting to flirt with her, and then she brought up like, this is actually my boyfriend, and he was like, oh. See, stuff's just gonna keep coming in as soon as like it's just reminding me.
What's his name? It was Simon and Garfunkel. It was Paul Simon. Yeah. I mean, so Alan's like, yeah, I can't compete with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heartbroken.
Brilliant. Yeah. So many fantastic episodes, moments, and like everyone's saying, Taylor, Charlie, Mike, Jimmy. Here's to obviously many, many more. Again, thank you to all the listeners, the viewers, everybody. You've kept us going. Even if we only had one listener, we'd still be at this point now because at the end of the day, we just love talking about Star Wars. If you want to join our awesome community, just search Explore the Force. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads. Blue Sky and YouTube, remember to subscribe. We did have a goal of getting 2,000 followers within 2 years. We've smashed that. We're going to go for 10,000 on Instagram. We want 1,000 on YouTube. We want 1,000 on Facebook. Help us reach the goals. Join this awesome little community. Any final words from anybody? Awesome. Happy days. Yeah, just thanks. Again, as well, don't forget to head over to Redbubble for any of the merchandise as well. If you want to start representing Explore the Force at any of your Comic Cons, events, anything like that. And again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Jimmy, take us out, buddy.
For the 100th time, we have spoken. We'll see you guys next week.
Go to your bed.
Close your eyes. Feel it.
I am a Senate.
As wise as Master Yoda, as powerful as Master Windu.
They'll do their job well. I'll guarantee that.
I am going to end this once and for all.
Sure. We're home.
You were the chosen one.